Since I was little, my mother used to say that love called for sacrifice. In my childhood, I saw my parents arguing about money, time, jealousy. I learned early that relationships were never easy, but I always thought that with me, it would be different. When I met Marcos, he seemed to offer everything that promised happiness. He was attentive, smart, and always knew how to make me laugh, even on sad days. We dated for 4 years and eventually had a simple but heartfelt wedding. I still remember my father hugging me tightly and saying, "Daughter, be happy." In our first years together, we were close. We traveled to special places, Chile, Argentina, laughed at camping trips, and even cried together when we lost our first baby. That pain brought us closer. Marcos was my anchor. Or so I thought. But with time, long work hours crept in. Chores piled up. I was always running, trying to balance everything. Marcos began staying out late, citing work meetings. I lost count of how many dinners we ate alone. One Friday night, after yet another lonely evening, I sat on the couch and felt empty. Even my dog, Simba, lay quietly beside me. And for a moment, all I wanted was to cry. I decided to prepare a surprise for Marcos. But while trying to turn on his phone for some light, it was dark. A message flashed on the screen. "I miss you." Last night was perfect. The sender, Anna. Shock froze me. I didn't know whether to scream or run. I spent Saturday in silence. For the first time, I considered leaving, but I didn't have the courage. Gradually, I started collecting more signs. A new perfume, swapped clothes, secretive calls. I spoke with my best friend Juliana, who had always supported me. "Clara, you need to face this. Nobody deserves to live in doubt." I confronted Marcos. He denied everything, blamed my jealousy, but faced with the evidence, he broke down and confessed. It wasn't just Anna, there were other stories. He cried, apologized, tried to convince me it was weakness. For the first time, I felt truly free to make my own decision. I left our home, a difficult choice, leaving behind photos, dreams, even Simba, who stayed with Marcos. At least for a while. The days that followed were a blur of pain and relief. I lived with Juliana for 3 months. My parents suffered with me, but supported quietly. Weekends were the hardest. Every silence felt like it had a voice of its own. I started therapy, writing my feelings in a journal. Sometimes I cried myself to sleep from exhaustion. Work became my refuge. I threw myself into new projects, and opportunities grew. New colleagues, promotions. Rafael, a coworker, helped me a lot. We had long conversations about life, and he taught me how to meditate and breathe through the worst moments. I dropped some old habits, started jogging in the park. Each kilometer erased a bad memory. I joined women's circles, listened to inspiring stories, and realized there were problems far greater than mine. Gradually, I saw my life could be bigger than that pain. I started a blog, writing about recovery. The first posts were sad, but soon comments appeared from women who thanked me, saying my honesty gave them courage. I posted short videos, accepted invitations to speak at schools and businesses. I took courses in self-esteem, recorded podcasts, and got interviewed. My name bounced through support networks. I became inspiration for others. After almost a year, Marcos asked for a second chance. He sent letters, tried to charm my parents, sent gifts. One day, I went to visit Simba and realized nothing I'd lost was as valuable as the peace I'd found. I traveled alone to the coast, sat on the beach, and thought about everything I learned. I wrote my own book about overcoming trauma and published it. I met incredible people. Some became true friends. Others opened doors to new work opportunities. Today, I am Clara. Independent. I have my own apartment. Adopted Simba officially. And I'm part of networks that support women in tough situations. My parents say I'm an example of bravery. My career changed. Now, I help others heal. Speaking, recording videos, and writing. I learned that betrayal doesn't define me. It only shows the character of the one who chooses to hurt. My value never depended on another. And every step I took alone made me stronger. And it all began with one message. That pain became my strength, my freedom,